wanted to do kind of like a part two on how the covert narcissist or how the narcissist becomes a shell of a human. So in part two of this, you have what you have is so first you have the child that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that is getting no validation from, let's say, a little girl from her father. And so she begins to wear the mask, meaning what he keeps shaming her. So she realizes, and he's grooming her to realize that if she does what he wants, not what she may have opinions of, because they're already starting to get their personality and everything together. And so she may want to play outside, and so he forces her to do something, or he will give her a gift or something, or give her some sort of validation, which is transactional, right? And if she does something that he wants her to do, but if she does something that he doesn't want her to do, he will shame her. So eventually she starts to follow his lead. And so she becomes, this is where the golden child would come in. This is where what will happen. And then she will continue to follow his lead. And then while she's following his lead, she's doing whatever he wants her to do. And for that, he will give her rewards. You know, there's a reward in it for you, is kind of the thing and the idea. So if she does what he wants, then there'll be a reward. And then he will buy her a gift, a toy. When she gets a little older and she gets into middle and high school, he may take her on a trip at the end of every report card that she gets A's on. And so now he's starting to live through his child. His child is now representing part of his legacy. She's an extension of him. She's an object to him, right? And this is a transactional thing, so there's no love, but it's transactional. It's what do we call it? We're not relationships, but they're transaction ships. You know what I mean? So this is where this kind of stuff comes in. There's no love, but there's power and control. He has power and control over her, and for that, she gets a reward if she does what she's told, whether she wants to or not. And then, so she's doing this to get love or validation from her father. So as she gets older, she's always refused in here. She has no personality. You're not personable. You don't have a self. And where you get the scapegoat is the child that would refuse to be like that. They would be the truth seeker, truth teller. It's just kind of innate that a lot of times when you see the truth, you know it's the truth. And, and so not even so much of that, but you definitely know the lie when you're living with it, and you're around it. Sometimes things can look a certain way. That's why I don't want to just give everything the truth, because I think it's the truth. But you have to get fact and stuff behind that. But when you're living with a lie, you know what the lie looks like, because the lie behind closed doors in the family unit or anywhere in the family unit of the relationship, they're going to know what was a lie and what was the truth. They may not talk about it. And that's the thing. They don't talk about anything in a narcissistic type family unit. There's no feelings and emotions that are expressed or dealt with to where it'll help you understand anything either. So even though the empath's empathic and loves people and is the truth seeker, truth teller, and doesn't want to hurt anybody, they still have their own emotions that they need to sort through. And those emotions also come with trauma or CPTSD. And so where the narcissist, so the empath would seek validation through people pleasing or something like that, but they're not going to give up their ethics, their moral ethics, whether they're a little toddler or an adult. That's where I think that there's a lot of this is innate. Some of this is innate, but also there is environmental factors, of course. It's just, that's where, it's just God knows us before we were here. So if he knew us before we were here, And, for instance, Jeremiah was a situation, Jacob was a situation. Um, so there's people in the Bible are spoken of that God said he knew them and he knows us. He's all knowing. And so it's just, we have an innate self, we have an innate spirit, and we get to make choices even in our innateness, I believe. And, our will is what will succeed through this. We also need God's grace. And so when they're going through that, that's how it first starts. And they don't gain empathy and stuff because they never really get it. And they're okay with giving it in because they're not really concerned about ethics to some degree because they gave it up for their father's validation. You see what I'm saying? So, the empath wouldn't do that or doesn't do that. I do believe that it's because they chose not to do that, because we all have choices, even at those young ages. Nevertheless, this is what happens, is that they don't have love because they don't form any gifts, because they're always right here. They're always following what they're told, and that's the mask, okay? It's like, it's called the mask because you don't want to do that, but your father wants you to do that. So you're doing it for your father so you can get validation and love from him. Or it's not love, though, it's power and control, right? That's what they consider as love. And then for the gifts, the gift giving, the transactions, that's what they fall into the trap of what love is. Okay, so they are an object from their father, and over time they realize that they haven't experienced love. They don't go inside. That's their problem. They made their father an idol completely. And, these are young kids. So, I don't have too much of a discussion on who judges that, but this is kind of how it works. And then, they put their father ahead of everything for his love, which ends up being power and control. And then they wear the mask. Then as they get older, they're still doing their father's biddings because they're in shame base. So they don't want to get shamed, but they're also so codependent to their father because they can't do anything without their father. They have never done anything without their father. This is a young child, a girl. Okay. And so they become completely codependent because there's nothing inside. Do you see how they become completely codependent? There's nothing underneath that mask. And, when there's nothing, that vacuum, and when you don't love or you don't have love, what comes with love is peace, joy, happiness, long suffering, all of these good things, dedication, like goodwill towards men, these things like, and being a builder, not a destroyer, not having envy and wanting justice for all, this type of stuff. But when you lose love, you lose all of that. Okay. And so with that, then they also have the second life, right? So they have what their dad sees, and they don't want their father to know anything they're doing outside their father that he's going to shame them for. They need to do that behind closed doors from him. So then they put on another mask. So then they do what they want to do that way, you see. But that's always ends up, behind closed doors. It doesn't grow any kind of courage. You see, they're always walking in shame and secrets, and that ends up always being evil. Anything behind closed doors, shades, blinds, curtains, locks, that all that kind of stuff with no sunshine, just darkness. It's always going to end up being evil, man, because there's also no accountability. And that's kind of like you being compartmentalized, and it's just you and you just have, a lot of times you're going to get talks from the enemy that way. That's not good. Then what happens is they have these other lives, you see, and they have to put a mask on for each life. maybe the initial stuff, they have to put the mask on for their father, their mask on for, this guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. And they end up learning about the transactional thing. And they start learning that it's about outside validation is that they're hungry for. They can't be with their dad forever. And as they get older, they're getting into addictions, like, sex addiction and people addiction, porn addiction, drugs, anything, alcohol, drugs, anything just to get them off their own mind of this emptiness. Because when they're empty, when you're empty, all you could think about is it's just depression, and all the stuff slams you in the head about anything that anybody that you treated wrong. Okay. And the way that they're brought up when they're following their father that way, he's completely evil because he's a narcissist. So he's going to train them up to being, you're the most beautiful child in the world. You should be first in line. You should get first of everything. And if you don't get it, you take it. You don't show emotions. You got to show that you're always in control. Now here's some money. I want you to, give it to my accountant. You're going to start running my money because I don't trust your mother. And then she starts running his finances if he has money. And then it goes from there. It's almost like she's like married to him. It's weird like that. And when you get into a relationship with a narcissist, you end up filling the role as a parent. If you ever realize you're with them for a short period of time, you'll start to realize that you're like their father. Or if it's the opposite sex, you're like their mother. Sometimes, and I remember saying, like, look, I'm not going to be your father, man. I'm not that, and this kind of stuff. But I've even heard other people talk about this. This is how it is. They end up, as you become the primary source, you end up being that parent that's supposed to validate them and give them nothing but love and do everything for them. Their parent would do. They made all their decisions for them, and they didn't have to do anything. And they were treated extra special. The other children were not. Because they kind of would walk in defiance toward narcissists. They're not giving up their soul, some of them. One or two of them may not. One or two of them may. And that's kind of how that works. And then, you're going out there covertly. Then it gets to a point to where you don't feel love, but you realize that transactions take place at this level. So now everything is like a transactional game to you. And then what happens, you start, now she can't be with her father forever, right? She's going to be 18. She's going to go off to school, whatever. So she's going to get all these supply sources because she's going to get nervous from being so codependent that she is, and he's not there anymore. So that would make her panic like a mother. And so then she gets multiple sources of supply. And then it's by any means necessary. Will she, kind of play people. And it gets to a point to where, they're also trying to find this form of independence through all this in a weird way. They almost want sort of like a soul independence, but they can't have any independence because even if, for instance, you were a codependent or semi-codependent empath, everybody has more independence than the narcissist because they have to have people for validation of that mask or they will die. They will feel like they're going to die. They may, who knows? So what they do is they get all these sources of supply so that they can have at least somewhat of enough fuel as what their father gave them. But their father is always teaching them that people are always out to get them because they're doing that.